suffocates, whisper in the hall, where justice wears a mask and truth begins to fall. Every thread they pull, every lie they weave, in the courtroom's dance, who's left to believe? Oh, the devil's in the details, hiding in plain sight, innocent until the gavel steals the light. True crime echoes through the hollow night, fighting injustice with no end. The devil's in the details, hiding in plain sight, innocent until the gavel steals the light. True crime echoes through the hollow night, fighting injustice with no end in sight. A photograph fades where the truth once stood. Blurred lines between the bad and the good. The scales they tilt with every silver tongue, while the broken cry for a song unsung. Black robes sway like shadows on the wall. One wrong word and the mighty fall. Who's a sinner?
All right, technical difficulties abound. I have no idea what's going on. Hopefully we're live. Can I get a wave from the backstage to make sure we're good? Okay, I don't know what's going on, but our music was kept getting muted, coming back on, kept muting, going back on, and then the whole video died. I don't know what's happening, but we have some fuckery to start the evening. I shouldn't start that early with a swear word on YouTube. It probably doesn't go well and bode well for the evening. I probably should give him at least 60 seconds before I drop a swear word. I know better than that. Anyways, point being is I'm super, super frustrated and sorry that we have some kind of technical difficulty going on. Hopefully it is not nefarious hacking manipulation of our show and is something completely unrelated to anything but just weird random bugs in the system. Welcome to tonight's Crimes After Dark show for the Devil's Advocates. We've got a mostly full panel backstage. We got Dago, we got 1-1, we got Robin. JJ from State of the Deep should be joining us a little bit late tonight. We're kind of playing that by ear, whether he's going to make it here or not. But we have lots of, I don't think it's a bad Wi-Fi connection on our side, I'll tell you that, but it could be, but more than likely not. Unless you hear me dropping in and out, and that would be a whole different story. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and bring my panelists on. We'll get started right away. We don't have a super, super scripted show as usual. I feel like we do better sometimes when we don't have a script and we just fly off the seat of our pants. All right, Dago, you're up. What's going on, man?
Forget about it. What's happening? Good evening, everybody. It's great to see you all again.
Yeah, I'm excited, even though I'm sore. I'm sore. I got on the bike today and I overdid it trying to race in a competition on my exercise bike, and I am dying. Like my muscles hurt everywhere. It's just, I think I just about, I made a mistake today. I chose poorly. But
I get it. It happens. Yeah, we have to remember our age sometimes, I think. I've been there.
Yeah.
You know, I do that from time to time. I'll be out doing this, doing that, and then I wake up the next morning. I went, nope, we're not doing that no more. Nope, I forget. But no, I get it.
That was me. So welcome to your crowd. You're co-streaming with us as well on your side. So welcome to all the meatballs, all the bills that follow you over there on that side. Love that. I love this collaboration. So it's always great to have our two sides joined up for another great evening of true crime.
Our huge family. That's what I call it.
Yeah, it's like our channels are very similar in size, so we like doubled our family. But when we kind of got together, which was very cool.
I love it, and they love it, and you love it, and we love it, and that's what matters.
Everyone loves it. Almost everyone loves it. All right, so let's bring up. I brought up 1-1 early. I was going to bring him up last week and do his monologue, but you're muted, so don't forget to unmute yourself before you get too far into it. How you doing there, 1-1?
Good evening, denizens, meatballs. There you go. Lee,
what's up, brother?
Robin backstage.
Welcome. You're gonna have to hold off on the monologue just a hair. How's the East Coast? Is it just still getting hammered with snow?
It's ice. We have layers of ice all over, and we're
It's
supposed to get hammered again this weekend. Not as bad, but it will be bad because we have the ice, and it's gonna snow again. So.
And it snowed a little bit more here today. Not enough, but my kid just left and then came back because he needed the spare key to his car, his Jeep, mind you. He's got a Jeep Liberty. It's not a real Jeep, but a Jeep Liberty. And he ended up in a ditch, like right at the end of my road. And he got out of the car. Somebody was helping him, and his doors have that auto lock thing.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So I had to come back and get the key, and I'm like, you're such a dumbass. So it is what it is.
Are you considered East Coast, or are you kind of like Midwest or Mid-East or
like
Northeast?
I'm in Northeast Ohio, so I guess it's Midwest, whatever. I consider myself East Coast because we get everything they get anyway.
As a quick aside, before I bring up Robin, I will tell. So I went to school at WSU way back in the day, and I remember taking a trip home to the Tri-Cities where I grew up on one of those parents' weekends or whatever the hell it was. We had a long weekend or whatever, and it was an ice storm that hit, and I remember being on 4 lanes of traffic when my vehicle lost control at like 50 something miles an hour, and I did a 360, and everything in the world slowed down for me, and I was spinning around watching cars oncoming traffic, and then non-oncoming traffic, and then oncoming traffic again. As I was doing 360s, I spun off the road, and between 2 telephone poles, when I went sideways into the ditch, it tore all the tires off the car, off the rims, and it scared the shit out of me. But and then after, and I was calm as a fucking cucumber until I stepped out of the car, and then I got the shakes. Like, what the fuck just happened? But it's funny how the body can calm you down in that time of stress where you're just like, well, literally just kind of like, well, this is gonna suck.
Try turning a 46-foot fire engine sideways on a road and sliding on a great pack of ice and going, hang on, boys. Dude, that's a big piece of equipment to go sideways, bro. I did that once.
I hope you weren't listening to Metallica Ride the Lightning.
Yeah, no.
Should have been.
Thank God.
All right, let's bring Robin up, who is also stuck on the back east thing. I'll even take stuff off of her face so she's not blocked by the chat. How you doing, Robin?
Okay. Yeah, we have lots of snow and ice, baby. Yeah.
Ice.
Lots of that. We're supposed to get more of it, but you talk about age. Oh my God. The stuff that we used to do when we were kids, people would freak out if people did that today with their kids, outside of if you're a redneck and you grew up the way that I did, where my stepdad would pull, he'd get out the snowmobile, and all the kids would make a chain with our sleds, and he would pull us. I'm talking country roads through
in the car,
fields, with just, and there'd be like a whole chain of us just holding on to each other's sleds, and 6, 7 kids pulling with the snowmobile. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. At least you weren't stupid like we were and didn't go bumper sledding and hanging on people's bumpers and doing that down the middle of a road. Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
I'm a teenager here.
When I was a kid, we used to do that with cars. You'd hang on to the side mirror and have them pull your bicycle along at freaking 60 miles an hour.
And pray to God you didn't wreck.
Yeah, we did some shit in the day. They don't do a lot of that anymore.
No, they have. We didn't have any fear. That's why Gen X had no fear. You guys, none.
Right.
Just do it on subway cars now, which is the dumbest thing. Really,
New York.
I'm glad that we're all safe, and you know what? In a way, maybe we grew up a little tougher. Maybe we grew up a little tougher.
Gen X, baby.
We didn't have to wear our helmets when we went out on our bikes, and for Pete's sake, when I know this is gonna show my age, but when I was young, they had what was called the big toy near my house. It was a giant like Lincoln log set that you can climb all over, and it had bars. And they don't even do that anymore because kids kept falling off and breaking their arms. Like, it's such a different world that we live in because the toys and the shit that we did are completely different.
They just tore ours down, Lee, because 2 kids got hurt on it a couple years ago, and they said it's a danger now. I'm like, you see this right here? That's why that's there. Okay.
Right. Yeah, I've got battle scars from my childhood, so it made me a stronger man.
Exactly. These kids don't get it. This new generation, they're afraid. They're like, "Oh my God, I bumped my elbow. Please, what do I do?" Rub some
I'll
dirt
tell
in
you-
it. You'll be fine.
No,
Yeah,
don't,
it's
don't
all
even
right.
don't even get me started. I deal with new cops that are like that now.
I was going to say, despite the fact that I've gotten tougher, I haven't gotten tough enough to handle Nancy Grace, but
No.
well, you know what? Let's let one do our monologue for the evening and
Yes.
get us started, and then maybe we'll talk about some of the recent news that are out there and all those stuff with that. Yeah.
All right. Is it good to be alive in the den
Always.
on a Tuesday night?
Mm-hmm.
Of course. Love you, Jackson, Juliana, and of course my lovely wife. Some stories don't end. They linger. They sit in the background of late nights and quiet drives, unfinished, unresolved, waiting for someone to ask the questions that were skipped the first time around. Tonight, we're not chasing headlines. We're tracing patterns. In Idaho, 4 lives were cut short in a house that should have been ordinary. The Idaho 4 case didn't just shock a town, it fractured trust. A timeline that feels too tight. Answers that arrive too fast. And a silence that followed where clarity should have lived. Then there's Adelphi, a case that never demanded the spotlight. And maybe that was the problem. Just justice slow to a crawl. Details buried under procedure. A reminder that sometimes cases don't go cold. They're simply left alone long enough to fade. On Long Island, the ground told a story long before anyone listened. Victims discovered years apart. Warnings missed. The Long Island serial killer case isn't just about who committed the crimes. It's about how long it took to acknowledge the pattern and what that delay cost. The Mickey Steins case forces a different kind of question. When timelines shift, when statements don't align, when details vanish instead of resolve, who decides which version of the truth survives? And then there's the Charlie Kirk case, where the controversy doesn't revolve around a crime scene, but around influence, ideology, and narrative control. A reminder that power doesn't only shape outcomes, it shapes perception. These cases aren't connected by geography, they're connected by something quieter. Gaps, contradictions, and the uneasy feeling that the full story was never meant to be simple. This isn't a show about certainty, it's about scrutiny. We don't rush to judgment. We don't accept conclusions just because they're convenient. We sit with the doubt and see what it reveals. Because real truth doesn't arrive clean. It's uncomfortable. It challenges the story you were told to believe. This is Devil's Advocates, where silence gets questioned, narratives get tested, and nothing is off limits. And with that, live from New York, it's Tuesday night.
Thank you so much for that reading. And by the way, I have been watching the chat, so I will get to some of those comments in the chat. And somebody, by the way, said Metallica's Nothing Else Matters was their wedding song. I thought that's got to be cool. Like, that would be cool.
Nice.
That is badass. Yes.
I did try to get, I hate saying second wife, because you think I would do it right the first time. But my second wife, I tried to get her, because we'd already been through a previous marriage, to do a reenactment of the Princess Bride's wedding scene. And she didn't want to do that. She thought that would be making a mockery of the marriage. I said, no, we have to do that. It would be a marriage.
That would be awesome, dude. That would be
Love
awesome.
is what brings us here today.
I love it.
It would
I
be
love it.
epic, but couldn't get her on board. Damn it. But Metallica for your wedding song would have been super cool.
Agreed.
So anyways, I also saw a comment, by the way, and it's funny because I was wanting to confirm Brian Koberger's car, because somebody said, DA, I want you to show a picture. And I usually don't do stuff like that, but I'll do it with the caveat that I don't know where this picture came from. Someone put this in our Brian Koberger's true crime, our true crime.
Love is in the air.
I told you that fucking list has got to go away. By the way, apparently that's going to cost me like fucking $1,200, $1,500 to get a bridge. Like, that's a lot of money out of my pocket.
Just
Like,
go get a nail file and file it down. You'll be good to go.
or just pack it with something. I don't know. But anyways, and somebody else got married in a leather jacket. That's just a bunch of badasses in here. Must be that Gen X bullshit. Like we just did things differently. Anyways,
Right.
So somebody was saying exactly. Let's remove that and let's put let's remove that and let's there you go. So someone was pointing to this photo and pointing out that it's not a 4-door sedan. It's clearly a 2-door sedan.
So enough.
But the problem is, of course, I don't know if this is supposed to be the suspect vehicle 1 that they're telling us. And so that's the only problem I have. But this car clearly is a 2-door. You can see that for sure.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then I tried to get a quick confirmation of what Brian Koberger's car looked like, and ChatGPT told me they're not allowed to show me a picture of Brian Koberger's car. Are you fucking kidding me? Like you're not allowed to show me his car? Like,
you got to go back to the other photo dump.
They got ChatGPT locked down now too.
They do. They're just
holy shit.
To question his vehicle would be conspiracy theory, and you need to understand it's very dangerous to talk about conspiracy theories. So why don't you just fucking show us the car? Just show us the car. Like I'm not even asking you to fucking make a conclusion. Just show me the goddamn car.
I give up, bro. That's what the fuck.
Oh my God.
Oh my gosh.
You know what though? I know on one of my AI programs on StreamYard, when I try to type certain things into that to put like a background up or something, it doesn't let me type certain words now.
Yeah.
And when I put in like the Idaho 4 thing, I have to go through it 3 times. I can't type Brian Koberger's name in there, and I cannot put the word crime and other stuff. It's so weird. That's crazy though.
You have no idea. I put AI through the test on a lot of stuff, and I don't want to make this political or religious or whatever, but it was surprising to me to find that they protect certain religions. I'm not allowed to use religious symbols if it's certain religions, but I can use religious symbols if it's other religions. I'm not allowed to depict certain famous people in a king, for example, position, but I can other people. They literally are picking which celebrities are allowed to be depicted which ways. And I just like, how is that? I mean, they literally have guardrails on AI so that you can't do. Somebody's policing morality, and that's the thing. Like they really are policing morality and saying we want to make. And by the way, as a complete random aside, this was Google's mission. Google's mission was to basically make the world a better place by making it so that you can't search for things that are inappropriate, and you will only see language that is appropriate, and you won't be able to talk about things that are inappropriate, because in the end they will make society better by not allowing us to talk about things we shouldn't be talking about. And that was kind of like their goal, like let's make the world a better place by just making it so that people can't talk about things that are inappropriate. So
yeah, but I have to say this, knowing that now, the fuckery is real.
Yes. Yeah. It's going to a whole nother level. We're just not going to be allowed to question things because it's just not. It's normal people don't question things.
JJ's gonna have fun with that one.
Yeah. So I mean, what did you think, by the way, of this vehicle? Was that vehicle a 2-door sedan? Was Koberger's a 4-door sedan? Was that the suspect?
Brian has a 4-door, I believe. That
yeah.
This is clearly a 2-door in here.
Yeah, that's definitely a 2-door.
Yeah. Yes. So. Is it? But the million-dollar question is this the one that they tagged as suspect vehicle 1? It's the car with the fog lights. Extraterrestrial Highway is saying that's the car with the fog lights. And so and again, we've maintained Brian Koberger's 2015-16 Elantra or whatever did not have fog lights, so that's a problem already.
Don't get me started.
But look, as a teaser, as all of this should have been addressed at the Franks hearing.
Yes.
But Hitler didn't allow a Franks hearing. He literally shut down the Franks hearing and said they could talk about one item and one item only on the Franks hearing, essentially shutting down the entire Franks hearing. I got a video, by the way, as a teaser dropping tomorrow in the Delphi case about how they did the same thing to Richard Allen. They had a search warrant for Richard Allen's house. The judge was only told the facts that made Richard Allen look guilty and did not tell any of the facts that would have made a reasonable judge go, I don't think you have enough grounds to arrest him. And yet, when they tried to do the Franks hearing to show the judge it was inappropriate, they said, nope, no Franks hearing. We don't give a fuck. The whole purpose of a Franks hearing is to review whether or not they gave all the information to that judge when they asked for the warrant. And the judges just say, you know what? I'm not interested in the Franks hearing. I don't want to hear it. Go forth and conquer. And and as I say, and this is what my bitch of my video coming out tomorrow is, once you get in our judicial juggernaut system, you're doomed. Like the system is designed to lead to a conviction, oftentimes to lead to a plea deal. To force you into an overcharged situation where the deck is stacked against you and you're told you have no chance of beating it. And then your idea is to accept a plea deal so it never has to go to trial, so that nothing will ever come out showing that they fucked you without Vaseline. Anyways, that was horrible. That was horrible. I just went inappropriate. I just went total next level inappropriate.
Clip it.
Anyways, so what do you guys think? I mean, in general, what do you guys think about the whole, like, judges? I mean, doesn't it feel like judges shape what's going to happen in a trial from the very beginning if they deny a Franks hearing? Like, if you're not even allowed to present that the evidence used to arrest in the first place was wrong, then the trial's doomed before it starts. It's not fair before it starts.
Right. And why are the cops just allowed to, in the cases like this, just allowed to present
Half the story?
like you said in your video, half truths and lies and all this, and the judges are just like, so, like, yeah, well, you said it, so it must be okay, so we'll go ahead with the case. It's like, come on.
I mean, on the one hand, I can't blame, often, by the way, like in the Koberger's case, the person who signed off on the probable cause affidavit, the PCA, was a magistrate. And by that, I mean, it wasn't the trial judge. It was kind of like a judge who kind of does procedural things, right? And their whole job is just little things like, do you have a good enough probable cause for a warrant? So, but here's the thing. Again, when the prosecution or law enforcement or whoever is allowed to only tell the judge the parts that make the person look guilty, then you almost can't blame the judge for saying, well, yeah, if that's what you have on them, then go get them. Because they lie to the judge. And so that I can't blame the judge who looked at it, because the judge is looking at it and going, man, that looks like a really compelling story. Because yeah, they write a really compelling story. But then when you get to the Franks hearing, this is where you're supposed to be able to correct it, where the defense can say, hey, look, they only told the judge half the fucking story. And then the judge, when they say, no, I don't care, I don't want to hear a Franks hearing, I don't want to discuss the possibility that I only heard half the story, then you're just screwed. You got no fair trial to start with.
But as a judge, I thought that's what your job is, to make sure that everything is on the up and up.
Bingo.
Right?
Bingo.
Which is why I titled tomorrow's video, No Franks, No Fair. If you don't have a Franks hearing, you don't have a fair trial, because you're not even allowed to contest it. And I think Ann Taylor in the Idaho case had a list of things that she was going to bring up in the Franks hearing. And Hippler said, we're not going to listen to any of the things you've got on your list of Franks hearing, except for maybe a little bit about the DNA. And that was more about the whole whether or not they're going to use the DNA at trial, which they ultimately said they weren't going to use it at trial anyways, which is another thing people seem to forget. But anyways.
So Lee, I put a picture of Koberger's car from it backstage.
Ooh, at the stage.
Yeah.
So
so you can clearly see that he has,
that's a four-door. It's a four-door Hyundai Elantra, right? So that is Brian Koberger's car in the I'm presuming in processing, right? And
that two-door has tinted windows, mind you. Koberger's doesn't either.
Yeah. Right. So that car is, and I don't know how well you guys can see it on your computer screens, but that's a two-door car.
Yeah, we could see it pretty
car with tinted windows and fog lights. And this is Brian Koberger's car with four doors and no fog lights. Keep in mind also that they said it was a 2011 to 13 Elantra, and then changed it to 2015 when they found out Koberger drove a 2015. And you know what? All of that should have been addressed at a Franks hearing.
Yeah.
Hippler said, we're not having a Franks hearing. I don't give a shit.
Because he knew, in my opinion, he knew whoever's in that two-door car, in my opinion, that's who we need to know.
Yeah.
Yeah. If that's the car that shows up at the crime scene, why would we want to know who that was?
Yeah.
Well,
Bingo.
And even when they changed the year, Emil was still, saying, well, I'm still more comfortable with, but it could be. So it's like, he should have just definitively said, no, this is what it is. You know.
And look, I think I got it right here. Yeah. I've got the FBI's response. I FOIA'd the federal government, the FBI, and said, please tell me, show the work on how you identified the suspect vehicle 1 is a 2011 to 13 Hyundai Elantra, how you corrected it and decided it was a 2015 Hyundai Elantra, and did you ever discuss the issue of a 2015 doesn't have fog lights? And you know what they said on this thing? They said, we do not have to respond to that. We acknowledge that we have the information that you're asking for. We do not have to respond for it because there might be a possible witness protection issue. There might be a national security issue. Whatever the case may be, blanket rejection. You are not. We do have the information you're asking for, but you won't fucking get it. Go somewhere else.
So big old FU.
Big old
Same
FU.
thing happened with Miss Potts. That's what she calls it, her love letters from the FBI, because that's what they did. The same thing to her. It's insane.
Yeah. They're just going to give colossal FU on everything. Same thing, like, by the way, Bill Thompson's office in the prosecutor's office in Latah County. I've submitted requests for several things, and I get a gigantic FU from them. Everything you're asking for is protected under attorney-client privilege, so piss off. They're not going to tell me anything at all. Everybody's hiding behind the bureaucracy of saying, we don't have to tell you dick. You guys just have to live with it. And by the way, don't forget, Brian Koberger pled guilty. So I don't know why the fuck you guys keep asking questions. He pled guilty. It's over. So
yeah. You don't want everybody to know that it's an innocent man.
Have you read that book? Have you read that book already, or you got it on your to-do list?
It's on my to-do. I don't have time, but I'm going to. But I want the backstory on it is amazing. Truly amazing.
Right. Someone says, show your work. Like when I was in school, you couldn't just write an answer down on a piece of paper. You had to show your work, because otherwise, guess what? The teacher assumes you're cheating. If you just put an answer down and you don't show how you got there, they assume you're cheating. You know what? I think that it kind of applies to our current legal system. If you don't show your work, maybe you fucking cheated. Yeah. Maybe you cheated.
Just like with the DNA with the FBI, when they told Latah County, don't use this. You don't need to use this. I wouldn't use this. Well, because Latah County's lazy, they used it, and now they're not going to. The FBI won't say a word now. They're done with it. It's trash. So,
and our Constitution demands that a person has the right to see the evidence that is presented against them. You have the right. They don't just get to tell you, well, we've got you. They have to show their work. You have a right, a constitutional right, to see the evidence and see how they got you convicted. And they have essentially, in my opinion, robbed many people in this country of their constitutional right of seeing the work. Show me how you got me. If you say my DNA is at the crime scene, tell me, as Ann Taylor said, we don't know how you doubled the snip in size. We don't know how you did it. You won't show us the work. You tell us literally law enforcement secrets. We don't have to reveal to you how we developed Brian Koberger's name. And yet you have a constitutional right to address the evidence that put you away so that you can see how they did it. And they're saying, nope, just trust us. We got you, bro. We got you.
Yeah, okay. we only get that right when they decide that it's okay for us to, but otherwise they can just deny us knowledge any old time they feel like it, especially if they want to put it under the guise of national security.
Right.
Every time.
Real quick, I did want to address, because we don't always say this, but I try to say it from time to time. Now's a great time to say it. I'm intrigued by 1-1. He's so mysterious with those glasses on. Look, 1-1 is mysterious for a reason. 1-1 is current NYPD. He is not representing NYPD. We want to give you no mistaken belief that he's representing NYPD. So his actual name and his actual identity is disguised for, in part, to protect the fact that he is not representing NYPD. So this is something he does for shits and giggles on the side. And, well, not just shits and giggles. He actually believes in the mission that we're doing, which is to, fight for transparency and constitutional rights and protect you people from over policing. Unbelievable. You have an officer helping out with protecting against over policing. So 1-1, thank you again for everything you do. And I just want to let people know that his glasses isn't just some gimmicky thing, because somebody said, I don't understand why you YouTubers all wear sunglasses. It's not because of that.
Yeah.
It's more for identity kind of thing. So
did you want me to touch on what I suffered through last night?
Oh yeah, please. Oh, please do. Yeah. Cause I didn't have the stomach. So you tell us.
Yeah. So the Goncalves.
Open our glasses. Why do you YouTubers wear those fucking, that's it, man. I'm looking for my sunglasses. I don't got them here. Damn it. All right. Anyways, go ahead.
Goncalves family went on good old Nancy disgrace yesterday. They did about an hour. She had about an hour show. I think they were on for maybe 20 to 30 minutes.
It was both Steve and Christy, or
yeah, Steve and Christy were on. So before I go into complete psycho bash mode, let me be clear. Okay, this is not against the families. I hope I never have to go through anything that they have gone through. Yes, I have firsthand experience of responding to crime scenes, of seeing crime scenes firsthand, but it is very different responding and, with obviously the job that I have, than actually having a child, a family member, actually suffering or being killed or anything like that. So I will never claim, as much as I have seen and body parts spewing and bloodiness. I've seen all kinds. I've seen shit that will make your hair pop off your head.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I've seen people ripped apart by trains, all kinds of the nastiest things that you can think of. I've seen, but it's still not the same as having your own family member, your own child.
No.
So before I even go on kind of like a rant, I do, seeing Steve and I do still, we've been on this case for so long, and although this stuff still, keeps coming out in these documents and the crime scenes, I'm sure it's extremely, extremely difficult and sensitive to have this stuff, put all over. I mean, there is no easy way to do it. I mean, the stuff has to come out. Just to evaluate the crime scene, to look at, the evidence that was there. It's important. So, of course, Nancy goes on this whole big thing like, oh, this should not be allowed. A whole big thing like. She goes on a rant for 15 minutes talking about her fiance. And I don't know her whole story. I feel hard. I guess her fiance was murdered years ago. I feel horrible for that as well. Again, I don't know the whole story with that.
I used to.
But she talks about how in the courtroom, she saw like a bloody sweatshirt, and it was like too much for her to deal with. So she can't imagine why so many of us need to see these photos that we're obsessed with this blood and gore. We are not. Let me be clear. None of us, no one on this panel, okay? Right. I can't say for everyone in the chat, but I will say probably for most of you, we are not here because we love blood and gore. We're not here because we're trying to sensationalize people dying and oh, wow, we could see a body here. We could see that. That is not what this is about. This is about getting to the truth, and the narrative that we have been given is bullshit. It's nonsense, and shame on Nancy. Shame.
Yes.
With the amount of people that you can reach, okay, you're allowed to have your opinion. You want to have your opinion, then fight us with facts. Just to go on your show and say that, we're true crime trolls, that we're all disgusting and this and making money off of this. What is she doing? She doesn't.
Yeah.
I guarantee you that probably 90% of the arguments and debates and stuff that we're even evaluating, these long form videos and analysis that Lee is doing, she probably doesn't even have a clue about.
Nope.
But no, she wants to triple down again that, oh, look at she puts up a timeline of Kohlberger's phone. Oh my God, he called his mother at 6 a.m. Oh my God, that means he had to have. Who calls their mother at 6 a.m.? He must have done something wrong.
Every day.
And she didn't answer. She didn't answer right away. So he tried to call her again. And look, his phone got shut off at 2. He turned it off at 2 a.m. I just want to bash my head against the wall. I really do.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't understand it with her. I don't understand how she's such a. I mean, I don't know that she is, but it seems like she's still a big mouthpiece because fuck, every year she's featured at CrimeCon. Every year she gets a special segment where people flock in to meet Nancy Grace and get their picture taken with her and stuff like that. And I'm thinking to myself, she seems extremely catty and horrible to people.
Oh, yeah.
She's just nasty.
Yep.
Like
Yeah.
she's mean to people. We who are questioning things never treat people like that fucking shit. Like she's nasty to people. I don't understand what
She
the appeal
purposely
is, why
brings
it's
people
allowed.
on her
Yeah.
show to talk down to, Lee. That's what she
Yeah.
does. And it makes me like she was an attorney. There's the
Yeah.
problem, okay? And that would scare the
Yeah.
hell out of me. God help anybody that she ever represented. Jesus criminy. But yeah, that's the thing. Like she's
And then,
insane. Okay.
Then she triples down on that there was apparently, and this is what she claims. She says there were 13 sexual complaints against Brian at the university, and that they had a code that, you know, whenever like he left, the girls would, you know, they would code chat each other 911 if he was around, because they were so positive that he was gonna do some kind of sexual deviant act against them.
Wow.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
This was the same. Nancy Grace was the same show. My wife was watching it. I don't watch Nancy Grace, but my wife tortured my ass and turned on Nancy Grace one night, next to me, and I kept like wanting to leave the room, but I couldn't. I was like, oh my God, did she just fucking say that again? Like, and then, you know, there was on her show that they talked about Kohberger likely sat outside on a cinder block outside the window and watched the girls. And I'm like, you literally are just pulling shit out of your ass.
Yep.
And you're telling people all over America, getting in their head this idea of shit that you're just literally making up. Like,
And she didn't read any of the documents either, you guys. She gets a script written for her by her show writer.
Yeah,
That's
definitely.
it.
And then she spent about a good 10 minutes bashing Kohberger's sister. Okay, so Kohberger's sister was interviewed not long ago. She did an interview in the New York Times, and she's shaming Kohberger's sister because his sister said she has to like color her hair and put a disguise on and stuff because she keeps getting, I guess, harassed or attacked. And Nancy was like basically saying, well, good, like the family kind of deserves it. And
what?
It's interesting because she wanted the opinion of Steve and Christy, and they basically said like they didn't attack her for that. They're like, because
They should have.
they're like, well, they just said that they taught their kids that if their child, you know, did anything to that magnitude, like we don't want any part of you. That's basically pretty much what Steve said. But then she kept going on and on about, you know, she was like, well, I don't believe that the sister and, you know, and the father flew over there. They all knew everything that happened. There's no way that he was sitting in the house and he puts on gloves and all this stuff that they have no clue anything what's going on. She's like, you know what? My daughter left the other day and you know, she had like a little piece of lint on her pants, and I saw it. And how, if I could see that, how could they not? I was like, what?
Because you're a flipping psycho, that's why.
Right.
Yeah.
Listen.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I'm going to try not to yell because I realize people have to turn their mic down when I start yelling, but I get mad, then I get passionate, and then I start yelling. So I will try not to yell. It drives me nuts. It drives me nuts that we get treated like shit by people like Nancy Grace for questioning Dylan's changing story, the inconsistencies, the no call of 911. All of that, which doesn't make sense to us, is we're shameful for you asking those questions. But yet, again, Brian Kohberger's family, if he's guilty, had no fucking responsibility in that. They didn't go and kill that family. It would, if at best, it would be their family member. So why do you treat them like shit? Why do you make them into victims and you? There's no way they didn't know. They had to have known. You know what? How Nancy Grace does it any different for you to say there's no way they didn't know, and for us to say there's no fucking way Dylan didn't know what was going on in the house? There's no way Bethany didn't know what was going on in the house. I'm a piece of shit for saying, I said I wasn't going to yell, and yet I'm yelling. But I'm a piece of shit for saying there's no way Dylan didn't know. But you can say his family back east in Pennsylvania, there's no way they didn't know what he was up to. Fuck off. Like, seriously.
Thank you.
Fuck off.
She's trash. She's trash. She's absolute fucking trash.
She really is.
And
she really
nothing
is.
more than trash, you guys. I thought Ashley Banfield was the worst. Nancy disgrace is beyond a disgrace.
And then she brought on
Go ahead,
Howard
Robin.
She brought on Howard Bloom. Oh, go ahead, Robin.
I was just gonna say, I hope WSU fights tooth and nail against this suit. I hope to God they fight it like just crazy.
They have 2 attorneys now that they brought on board that I know. So yes.
I saw something though about
I saw something about the case moving to the federal level. Did that WSU suit just raised to the federal level? I think I've heard that too. Yes, I saw something about that. Yeah,
so
that's going to be.
She brought on Howard Bloom, and I was pretty shocked by that because of what he just pretty much came out and Lee did a whole episode, a whole show about that. But she didn't really ask him anything about his current, rebuttal sort of on the story. She was kind of asking him about what he thought about Koberger's sister. And he kind of, it was interesting because he kind of didn't agree with her. He was kind of saying like, I don't really, I don't really feel that she's that they did anything wrong really. And then of course she kind of cut him off.
Right. So I remember you telling me that. So she tried to bait, again, despicable in my opinion, despicable behavior. So she's trying to bait Howard Bloom in. Let's get on board and bash Koberger's family because he's a piece of shit and they all had to have known what he was about. And I'm like, he's uncomfortable with that because it's like the hypocrisy of saying that we're victim shaming because we question Dylan's story, but she can bash the shit out of the Koberger family saying they had to have known, let's get on board. Let's shame that family. Like, what the hell is, seriously, something's broken. Yeah. Something's broken.
Just wait till you see my reaction video to her video tomorrow. Just wait.
Oh my God. I'm looking forward to it.
Oh yeah.
I can't wait.
Are you doing it? You're going to do it live or?
Oh yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Do
It's
it live.
live. Do it live.
Do
Yeah.
it live. Yeah, this comment is so true. Not only Nancy Grace, we're talking about Ashley Trashfield and all the other ones. YouTubers are doing a better job at bringing you the actual facts as much as we possibly can in this case than the mainstream media.
Right. And that's what I have to say. Like we may have like a little bit of a different point of view. Like Lana says something, Pop says something, Jules says something, but we're all looking at facts. Like there might be a few things here, or none of us are perfect. So we're allowed to make mistakes, but overall we're all trying to get to the truth. These idiots on mainstream, and I'm calling them idiots, have nothing. They just like throwing shit at the wall. Like, no, BK is a stalker. Oh, he's a sexual deviant. Oh.
Pov's latest video got taken down for violation of bullying. Do you guys know anything about that?
I
don't know. Somebody put that in chat.
That's brand new for me.
His newest video was posted at like 8:30. Well,
so I don't know that that's fact. It was just something that somebody like 2 minutes ago, somebody said like 2 minutes ago, it got taken down for bullying. I don't know.
Yeah.
Can we verify that? I'm just curious.
I'm looking right now.
He was basically talking about alternate suspects. I didn't get to finish it.
Oh boy.
He was going into the alternate suspects, and he was.
Well, we know that's not allowed.
So I don't know. I don't know what his end game was, but the beginning thing was that he was basically saying that a lot of people are saying that Hitler threw out the alternate suspects, and he's saying that's not actually what happened. It was that the defense basically just conceded and said at a later time, if they have evidence, can they push forward? And Hitler, so he is right on that. Hitler did agree to that. So
yeah,
it wasn't completely thrown out.
I want to clarify that a little bit as well. I do see that his last video on Jamboree's site is a day ago. So if he put a video up,
there's two comments. One of them says, "Why did you delete the video 25 seconds ago?" And another one from a minute says, "Whoa, they just took down the video from today."
So I can't speak to it because I didn't watch it. So I don't know if he said anything.
I don't think he would have taken it down unless he got.
He put it up about an hour ago. I was just watching it. Like,
what was it titled? Let
me.
I'll be damned. They're really gonna start doing this now, huh?
Well, and that's just it. Like, I don't know. Did he cross a line, or are they just, again, I think people are out there waging war against all the YouTube channels that are talking about this, trying to say that we're disgusting human beings and that we need to be shut down. And if YouTube starts to move in that direction of shutting down anyone talking to it, that'll be a problem.
I still have, well, I didn't click on it again. I don't know.
But I don't know.
It's called the Revealing Special Bam Idaho. It's a 26 minute and 33 seconds.
Wow. I'm sure he'll make a statement about it, but
I still have it up. Maybe because I already had loaded it.
Yeah, if it's already loaded,
and it got pulled. Yeah, but
try to play it in the background one, see if it plays for you.
Just don't play it audibly on ours page, because then they'll copy, or they'll get us a copyright for stealing.
Yeah, they'll be
content.
like,
yeah, it's playing.
And then it plays. Okay, well. Maybe keep that on pause so you can watch it, because you may not get to watch it after today.
Find out
what it is he said that you think.
Yeah.
I mean, look,
I'll have to backdoor it.
Yeah, we're pretty critical thinkers. We can, if we look at it, we might see why he got flagged and go, oh, there it is. He said this, and that probably got him in trouble. So we'll see. We'll see if we agree with it or not. Not that we can do anything about it, but I'm curious to know whether he did cross a line or not. I will say, back in the TikTok days, when I know, I'm sorry, YouTube, for using your competitor's name on screen, but back when I used to be on a different platform, I got flagged for talking about Luigi Mangione and just talking about the legal issues that the defense was raising, because they flagged me for hate speech. Because talking about the legal issues that the defense was bringing up was considered supporting a murderer, and they viewed that as hate speech. And I'm like, I'm talking about the constitutional issues and the legal issues, and I'm reading legal documents in an open court, and you're telling me I'm promoting hate speech by just talking about what the legal document says. And that's where we're going. Right. Is that, and look, and here's the counter, by the way, as a side tangent. Here's the counter. No one ever said freedom of speech is freedom of reach. These platforms can give their algorithm to whoever they want and take it away from whoever they want, because they're a private company, and they're not abridging your freedom of speech. They're just abridging your freedom of reach. And so they don't have to promote your video and share it with people if they don't agree with what you're saying. So, for those who think that it's a First Amendment violation, they would argue you're allowed to say anything you want all day long. I'm just not going to put it on my private channel of YouTube that we own or whatever, because that's my right to choose not to do that. I don't have to give you reach. So it is what it is.
There's a statement in here that I just saw that I know is true. Olivia has been in Facebook groups getting posts taken down, threatening people, making for days now. So it could be very true, unfortunately.
So the allegation is that Olivia's going around trying to get YouTube channels shut down that are talking about the case.
Yes.
Yeah. And you, yeah. So, and so you think maybe that's what Pav was talking about, that maybe got him in trouble for saying that?
It could be. It could be.
Yeah. I don't want to speculate too much. We don't know, but it is funny. Again, there's an irony in that the family gets to go on every TV show in America and anytime they want to, and talk to the ends of the earth, because they're entitled to do so because they earned that or whatever. But if we talk about it, they go flag us for violations, say we're disgusting human beings, appeal for people to shut us down. And so with that, it's funny that they believe in freedom of speech when it applies to them, but not to people who question the story.
But yeah,
YouTube's not going to play into that, you guys.
Okay for thee, but not for me.
What's that?
YouTube, I don't believe YouTube will play into that, because first off, it's going to be they're going to be fighting against the Constitution, and at the same time, they have gone through this for years. So people can do what they want to do. And if YouTube plays into it, it's going to cost them a ton of money. So that I don't see this happening.
I don't either. YouTube has traditionally supported the notion that it's not their job to decide what truth is, so they're not going to get in that whole fight kind of thing. And
right.
I also gotta the last thing about the Nancy Grace thing too. Her saying that we have no right to look at the photos, and they show they're of no importance. So basically, her final analysis was that the only picture that has any probative value at all was the knife sheath. That's it.
Yeah, right.
That's it. I was like, are you fucking kidding me?
Oh my God.
And who the hell is she? Who is she to say that? I mean,
I when you told me she said that, I also was like, are you kidding me? The only photo of probative value,
the only probative value was the knife sheath.
God.
She's
a nicely placed sheath.
It's a joke. It should be a joke. At this point, it should be a joke. I don't understand why people. And look, by the way, as an aside, I've told my team this privately. I keep having to go for therapy because I'll be honest with you. At some times, Dago knows the feeling on this as well. Being a people pleaser and wanting to be nice and want people to like you, it hurts some of the comments I get in the thing. And I get accused all the time of being the most despicable human being on the face of the earth. You piece of shit. Leave these fucking people alone, you disgusting human being. And sometimes it gets to me where it's so personal. I'm like, man, am I a piece of shit? I have to start asking, am I a piece of shit? And one piece of advice was, consider this. If you are irrelevant, nobody would give a shit what you have to say. The fact that they're mad at you and attacking you means that you're shaking them out of their comfort zone, and people don't like to be moved out of their comfort zone. They're attacking you because what you say is bothering them. If you were never mind, and they thought it was a laughable joke and you weren't actually getting to them a little bit, they wouldn't be so.
They wouldn't say a word to you,
because
bro.
They're afraid that you might be right.
That's 100%. I'm telling you, you are exactly right. I go once a month. I speak to a therapist. 100%, guys, no lie. And I was told the same thing by this lady. It wouldn't bother you, or it wouldn't bother them if you didn't matter. Word for word is what she has said. So,
yeah,
take it for what it is.
It is hard.
I don't know. Right. I don't. That there's certain people. There's nothing you can say to make happy. Nowhere on this show have we ever said BK's innocent. I know there are people who are out there who say that, and you can think that.
Yeah.
If you have the receipts, show us the receipts. But no one that I know on this panel has ever said definitively 100% BK is innocent. What we're saying is that the evidence that we have seen that was used for the probable cause affidavit and all this other bullshit that stemmed down the line from that does not point to Cobra.
Here's the thing, though, even if anybody were to say that they believe that Brian's 100% innocent, that is their right as a human being to have their own thought in their own mind.
Right, yeah.
And you cannot shut down somebody's own, and that's why
personal
I tell
belief.
all the time, look at what we have, listen to what we say, but please make your own decision on your own mind, what you believe. They're trying to shut down people's they're I can't even think of the word because it's so irritating to me right now. They're trying
your opinion. They're trying to shut down your opinion.
Yeah, and that's
critical thought.
No, that is not okay. Go ahead and try to shut me down. See what happens.
Yeah, and this is what we're fighting against. Is and look, it's kind of a movement in America. If you don't say certain things right, then they want to label you as hate speech. And then they're telling you that hate speech is violent, and therefore you're promoting violence, and you yourself are violent. And therefore it just keeps going further and further down the road. If you make people upset, then you're promoting violence. Therefore you're a violent individual. And therefore if somebody does something violent to you to shut you up, well, so be it. Violence should be met with violence. We're getting to a ridiculous point in this country where having a difference of opinion means that you're a violent person, and that the only answer is everybody just needs to not say anything that will offend anybody. Everybody's just got to be. No, don't ever say. I mean, and let me tell you, we know this true. You can't please everybody. There's nothing you will ever be able to say that'll make everyone happy. You're gonna piss somebody off,
of course,
at some point. So,
but like
you're
one
starting
we're
younger
saying,
and younger.
right? And if you don't want people to say that they think he's innocent, then tell the prosecutors, the law enforcement, the judicial system in this area to show some proof that this man committed this crime. And until then, shut the fuck up. That's all I'm saying.
Right.
And that's not to the people. That's to the Idaho people that are saying this.
Right. So that's what we do. We make our conclusion and judgments based on facts.
And I feel like
we see. So
yeah, I mean, I'm preaching to the choir because I know that people who watch this show and Dago's show, they watch us for a reason, which is that we are really actually pretty neutral. I've said before, I don't have a dog in this fight. If Richard Allen and Delphi is guilty, then so be it. If Brian Koberger is guilty, then so be it. All I want is a fair trial and make sure that our constitutional rights weren't violated and that it was fair. That's all. And here's the thing: show me the proof that he did it, and I will be like, yeah, screw that guy. But
Bingo.
You can't do it illegally. You can't do it illegally. I'll still fight for our laws. I'll still fight for the Constitution. I'll still fight for doing it the right way. But I don't have a dog in that fight. I'm not out here just being ridiculous and trying to get murderers off for shit that they did. That's not what we're about.
Not at all.
Show us your work.
That's how they portray us.
We have repeatedly asked the same question. Every one of the four of us up here and everybody that's in these communities right now. I don't know how many people we have in here combined, but every single one of us in here, I can promise you this, and many, many more have asked one question. Show me the proof that Brian Koberger committed this crime, and I guarantee you every one of us will shut up, but they will not do it because they can't.
Right.
If they would have done it, they would have done it a long time ago.
And show us your work, how you came to that.
I agree with you in principle what you're saying, but the problem is that some people think the proof is he said he did it. That is the proof. They're like, the proof is he fucking said he did it. So
and even
that's
worse,
the proof.
And even worse than that, some people even forget about even the fact that he said he did it. Some people, it's just enough for them that Nancy Grace and Banfield and Chris McDonough and all these other fools, whatever they say must be the gospel. I didn't know Nancy was the second coming of Jesus. Oh my God.
And look, there's a reason. There's a reason why we're not supposed to have practice torture, for example, to get information from people, because people will say whatever they need to say to stop the pain, and so you can't rely on torture. Well, he said he did it. Well, were you pulling his fingernails out with the fucking pliers at the time? Well, yeah. Okay. Well, yeah. I would fucking say anything you want me to say too if you're torturing me.
Well, just like Richard Allen said. Well, Kathy, I have to say this. There's somebody standing here right now. Right. It's on recording, you guys.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
It's on recording. What else would you take from that if somebody told you they committed a crime they didn't commit and then says, I have to, Kathy.
I have to say
it because there's somebody standing here right now. What the fuck? Come on.
It should be a joke, and yet people still will say, well, yeah, he pled guilty.
That's why I think this SCOTUS case is such a huge deal that's coming up.
And by the way, as an aside, you can make people look, this is the thing, you can make people look guilty as hell when you don't tell the full story. Mm-hmm. I'll admit, I went back and for the first time read the legal affidavit filed for the search warrant on Richard Allen and Delphi case. And when I read it, I thought, oh, fuck, man, that's a good case. They got a good case. They see him coming to the scene. They see him leaving covered in blood. They got the timing down. Like how can it not be that guy? Well, fuck, maybe everybody's wrong. Maybe because that But again, then you're like, well, there's a Franks hearing because everything they said. If you've read the appeal now, they lied. They lied about it. It makes really good reading when you only hear one half the story. It makes really good reading.
Lied. It's sad.
They blatantly lied. Yeah.
Same thing that's going on in the Idaho case, guys. We've caught them. We have literally in the midst of caught them lying, blatantly lying. Okay. Multiple people, multiple documents, multiple things have been done and said where we've caught it in the midst of it. Okay. And they don't retort to it. There's nothing that comes back from it. They're not explaining it. They're not saying, no, that's not true. They're just repeatedly running the narrative the way they want to, and the propaganda bullshit the way they want to. They're allowing people to sit out here and lie. People like Disgrace and Skeletor and all these other people that are pushing this narrative of lies. Okay, it repeatedly has been proven to be lies by the prosecution team, the investigators. All of them are saying it's not true. But these people are allowed to say these things day after day after day after day and not be held accountable for it. And to me, that's bullshit. I'm sorry. There should be accountability for blatantly lying to the entire world about something is not true.
Yep.
There should be, and that's the way it should be. Yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, Robin, JJ from State of the Deep is saying he didn't get the link to join the show, so I don't know if we have sent it to him or not. I'm trying to send it to him right now on the thing, but I guess he's been trying to
join him if you want.
Okay, yeah, maybe do that as well. I don't know. I don't know if I had the right. So I don't know if he's listening. If he's listening, we can post it in the main chat and he can grab it there.
I can't wait till tomorrow.
Because you're going to go off the hook.
I'm telling you guys, I'm going to go nuts. Yeah, I might get taken down. Who knows? Because I'm going to react.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Be super careful. I mean, we are under scrutiny. People are reporting us, right? This is we got a bunch of toddlers out there who don't think people have the right to have an opinion. So they're going to try to get the stuff shut down. You got to be careful because
and they're going to
hopefully the toddlers don't win. It'd be toddler fights. Everybody's trying to report everybody for having something that makes them uncomfortable. And I'm going to report you. I'm going to go to your dad and tell him you.
Yeah, whoever's doing it, you need to put your binky back in your fucking mouth and go sit down somewhere, okay?
Yep. Link is
grow up.
They have it. I sent it to him too.
Well, he has it doubly then.
Yeah. All right, so no, he has it triply because I sent it to him and Robin sent it to him and Roman sent it to him, and he's got a quadruple because then we put it in the chat as well. So now, if he doesn't come up, it's all on him.
Yep.
So, what else do we have going on? I mean, so I saw as well. I don't understand why, but people are telling me that the Gonzalez's are going pretty heavy into supporting, oh, for fuck's sake, Viviana. I don't understand that as well. It makes me think there's a personal thing with the family. I mean, she's got a tiny channel, and it's not to insult the size of the channel. What I'm trying to understand is why the Gonzalez's are so in bed with that channel that they're talking about how great she is and she tells the truth.
Because of what she does. Because she's following their narrative 100%, and she's going back and
is there a personal relationship between them and her?
Not that I know of. There never has been that I know of.
I
think they just figured her out and realized that she's going back at all of us and she's making statements about everything we've said. And it in turn, she's supporting what they're doing. So
so that's why they like her.
Do your thing.
Yeah, well, it is what it is. We just got to do us and they do them, and we'll just see how it plays out. And hopefully
that's the best way to do it, Lee.
Joe from State of the Deep, welcome. How you doing?
What's up, brother?
Everybody?
Hey, evening.
How you guys doing?
We're mostly ranting about Nancy Grace and the Gonzalez's being on her show and more shaming of everyone who wants to look at crime scene photos because we're a bunch of disgusting human beings, while Nancy can simultaneously shames the Koberger family because they should have known that he was that kind of person, so they all knew about it, and so she can shame Koberger's family, but we're all pieces of shit if we question Dylan's story. All of the shit we've been talking about. I don't know how much you heard of that, but yeah, that's what we've been raging about.
I can't bring myself to watch Nancy Grace.
I did it last night. I forced myself and.
and you regret it, don't you?
I regret it.
You regret it.
I regret it.
Okay, so AR just said yes. There's a personal relationship. They were attached at the hip at the court hearings that him and his wife attended.
Oh,
I didn't know that.
Well, that's interesting. I was in the courtroom for a couple of appearances. I guess I didn't know what she looked like at the time. Maybe she was right there in the courtroom with me, with it 5 feet away, because I was within feet. So maybe I was right next to her and didn't know, which would be funny because she knows who I am. She's called me out several times as being a piece of shit. So,
well, they're going to double down and triple down and quadruple down on the official story because they're not going to put the lawsuit at risk.
Yeah, right. Well, that's what surprises me, that they're even doing this. Like, why are they even going on Nancy Grace? Doesn't that put the lawsuit? I mean, every time they talk, it's going to potentially put the lawsuit. I can't even believe they're allowed to go out there and keep having a public megaphone in ongoing litigation. I don't get it.
I think that's what it's about, is that they're worried that the attorneys from WSU are going to see what everybody's talking about here, and maybe look into the end of that, and maybe find something out that they already know that we're fighting for right now to try to prove something, and it's going to affect the lawsuit. That's kind of an ideal that I've had for a couple of days now.
Yeah.
Well, if WSU is smart, they will listen to us.
Well,
yeah, that's a good point.
It's crazy that they're. I mean, you could see what's going on. They're gonna do everything they can to preserve the official narrative, and if they can go on these very obviously official story friendly programs, how long before they're on Megyn Kelly?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Well, JJ, I know you didn't see it, so yeah, she was saying that she brought up she had a therapist and all these people, and they were saying that there were 13 sexual complaints against Koberger at the college, and they should have gotten rid of him.
Was that in the lawsuit, by the way? Was the 13 sexual complaints against Koberger in the lawsuit?
That I didn't verify that.
I didn't see it in the lawsuit.
That was stated by them last night.
Once again, we get to add details to the case and just keep adding them on in the court of public opinion, so that everybody's decided what it is before you see the evidence. And if we do it right, you won't have a trial. You'll just settle. You won't ever have a trial. You'll never have to show your work. Again, new way of doing things in America. You just put the answer down you want. Here's the answer we want. You don't show your work. You settle, or you get a plea deal, and you never have to prove anything that you say. As long as you can convince enough people that it's going to go that way, then you can just plea, or you can just settle, and you're done.
Well, I've said it many times. People aren't always interested in, I would say most of the time, they're not interested in the truth, just a narrative.
Yeah.
And the official narrative is a narrative that's being pushed by, and has been, a lot of people with a lot of reach. Yeah. And from most people, that's good enough. And they probably don't even know about all the inconsistencies.
And that's what I have to say, just as like a side note. I know we're mostly talking about Idaho 4, but what's so interesting about John Ray's position in the Long Island serial killer is that what he's actually trying to do is he's actually trying to get the truth as to everything that happened. So,
and gosh, I haven't looked at the docket for a while, but man, that case, John Ray's case against Hackett is taking forever. Like it's like watching paint dry. It's like, man, I want to see this go to trial. Like I'll go to New York and sit in the courtroom for the Peter Hackett trial. Like I want to see that play out. And it's just taken forever. Like I just don't understand. Like we've got a lot of cases that are popping off. We got Luigi's case settled. I think they said, if I saw it right, they said I hope I don't get this wrong. I thought I saw Luigi's federal case is going to start this year. And I thought, well, how did they even do that? Because they said the state was going first, and that trial could take months and months, if not half a year. So how are they going to start the federal case this year when the state goes first? I don't know if that's true or not, but I'm just thinking we got Rex Heuermann's case coming up this year. We got Luigi Mangioni's state case, if not federal case, coming up this year. You've got Richard Allen's appeal this year. You've got Mickey Stein's in Delphi, Indiana's case. You've got Ben Fields in in the Kentucky case, in the Letcher County case. Fuck, I got two of my cases mixed up. That's horrible. But we've got a lot of high profile cases. I don't know. There's just so much going on right now. And then to think that, I don't know. My mind's just.
Yeah. He said that. Yeah, you're right. The Judge Garnett said the jury selection will start September 8th for the federal case.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Jury selection September 8th, which probably means the trial starts, maybe in November or something.
Opening statements will start October 13th.
Oh my God. That's the federal case, right?
Yeah.
Garnett. Yeah, I don't understand. So did something happen in Luigi's case that I missed and they dismissed the state case? Because the state was supposed to go first.
And
Yeah,
it
but
says, if the judge does allow prosecutors to seek the death penalty, opening statements will start January 11th, 2027.
could they have just skipped it and then thrown it all to federal?
Well, I mean, that was what Karen Agnifilo was trying to argue is, look, trying him in two different jurisdictions at the same time is unfair.
Right.
So drop the state case. And in fact, Karen's request was drop the state case and go with the federal case because it's the bigger fish. It's the one that has the death penalty in the line. So drop the state case and just go with the federal case and we'll fight one case. But as far as I know, the state has always maintained we will not drop the state case and the state will go first. So you guys can all just fucking pack sand. So what happened with the state case?
Are you going to cover Luigi for like whatever hearing or trial or whatever is going to go on with it? They're asking.
I'm intending to keep following Luigi Mangione. Here's the problem, guys. You guys got to help me out a little bit because it unfortunately YouTube audience doesn't give a shit about Luigi's case. I think it's a big case, but our videos go to die. I can't even get anybody interested in Luigi's case, and it's a huge case. I think it's a landmark case in America. But
they're not. Silence Unchained said that there's still a state case. So
there is still a state case. So how the fuck are they doing the federal case this year when the state case hasn't gone yet?
No idea.
When the trial starts, people will be all over.
If the state case or if the federal case goes first, won't that be better for him than the other way around?
Yes. I would say if the federal case went first, here's what was Karen's argument. If the federal case goes, there's no reason for a state case. The federal case has the biggest punishment on the line. So there's no reason to prosecute somebody again for something that they face the biggest charge there is. So I don't even understand that kind of thing, but
I don't either. And I'm watching the chat too, and there's people saying they'd watch it. But see, like when I was covering it, I got like almost nobody came to watch what I was talking about with it. So I was like, okay, I don't know what to do with that. But
I think when the trial starts, people will be all over it.
Probably at that point, but I don't know.
Looking at the litigation calendar, it looks like the next date in court, if they've kept it up to date for the state of New York versus Luigi Mangione, is May 18th. So unless that's last year's date and they haven't updated, then May 18th is the next scheduled date for something to happen in Mangione's case, but I don't have the docket in front of me. I'm just going off their website. So,
the AR just said they'll pause the federal case as they don't have a time restriction on federal. The state would go first. That's kind of what I thought too.
All right, Silence Unchained is trying to tell us what's going on. All right, I'm all eyes since you don't have ears, but you could come up on stage if you want to talk. But I'm watching, so shoot it at me real quick. Now they're like, I gotta type faster.
No, I guess while he's doing that, okay, here. What is it?
January 30th, this Friday, there's going to be a determination if evidence is going to be thrown out for a federal and capital punishment will be determined. Yes, I know. So on the table right now is the biggest issue for Luigi Mangione is whether or not they'll be allowed to essentially keep the notice of intent to file the death penalty against him. And as I said, if they drop the death penalty part, it changes a lot. May 18th is this year for the suppression hearing in the state. Okay, so we're working. It's super interesting to me, though. And again, this is why I kind of agreed with Karen Agnifilo. It's unfair that she has to fight two different jurisdictions at the same time. So she's got a suppression hearing in the federal case. Get this. If this doesn't confuse you, let me say this. Okay, get this. Luigi Mangione was arrested in Pennsylvania. By the rules of typical court proceedings, the person who arrests him has first go at him. So he got arrested in Pennsylvania for some false ID and some passports that were faked and possession of a firearm. They have the jurisdictional right to try him first. But somehow the federal government came in and swooped him up. He allowed himself to go to New York to face extradition to New York in the state case. Sorry. And then when he got to the state case, the federal government swooped in and said, we're taking possession. Everyone's fighting for Luigi Mangione. Somehow the last person to get him, which was the federal government, took over and told everybody else, we will decide what order the cases go in. And they're going to let the state go first, and then the federal government go second. They determined what order. Like, the whole thing is a classic fucking fuckery. Like, the whole thing is a fuckery. And they're setting the stage about what order things will go in. And of course, it's beneficial for them to go in the order they're going in. And I'm going to try to summarize this, but I'm not good at summary. And I know I got to give my panelists some time to breathe and talk. But the biggest issue is by making Luigi Mangione go face the state case first, if he goes for a defense like, maybe I did it, but here's why I did it, which is an extreme emotional distress or disturbance defense, which says you have to understand my frame of mind and what I was thinking. If he does that, he's fucked in the federal case, because there is no extreme emotional defense in the federal case, and it would be essentially admitting to murder, and you'd get then executed as a murderer. That's why they want him to go first in the state case. That's why they want him to go first. But fortunately, Margaret Garnett, and I'll get off my fucking soapbox, Margaret Garnett was smart enough to realize that the issue of the death penalty hanging over his head is jeopardizing Luigi Mangione's defense. He can't properly defend himself in the state as long as death is on the line. So she's got to have to make a ruling on the death penalty. So that's what's pushing this whole narrative. Shit, I got to quit talking. So I'm out.
Wouldn't
and the
it
crowd
be
is speechless?
Would it be crazy if this trial ends up like going on for like 2 years and then he pleads guilty?
Well, you mean like Idaho? Like let's just go 3 years maintaining my innocence, and at the last minute go, you know what? Fuck it, I did it.
Yeah.
Right.
Sorry, I was just gonna say I'm watching chat a little bit here, and I'll tell you, at least from my side of things, BK is over as far as I'm concerned. Brian Koberger is over. That part of it's over. I don't even look at that part of it anymore, you guys. I am looking at Idaho itself and the government in Idaho. That's what I talk about on a daily basis and what I look into on a daily basis. It relates to Brian in some senses, yes. But it's not over, folks. That's not over. And it'll never be over for me until there's some real truth and answers that come out about what the government was doing with that and what law enforcement, prosecution, the judge, and all that stuff. Because that is what, well, whether there's nothing I can do or not, I'm going to talk about it until I get it out of my head, because that's all I can do.
And
right,
you know,
because
and hopefully
that is the bigger issue.
Yeah,
that is the bigger issue as far as, you know.
Yep.
Because it affects, so, you know, it's the principle behind it all. I guess is, you know, the thing. This could be any one of us that this could happen to, and that are falsely imprisoned. I mean, look at how many people are sitting in prison who are innocent. So
right, that's 100% it right there, 100%. And like I see again, Brian. I know Brian. I love you, Brian. The Tepes case, I covered it. They know who did it. They have the thing. They're going to go to trial for it. It is what it is. There's nothing else I can say about it. You know what I mean? Until that happens, that's all I can say. But we've all covered multiple cases, guys, and then this one is just the one that's dragging us back in, no matter what we do. You know,
right? And yeah,
that's the problem right there. Yes,
that comment on screen is the biggest one that bothers me the most.
Biggest. Yes.
If Brian Koberger did it with somebody, or if anybody did it with somebody, then putting one person behind means the killers are walking free. And now you've got Howard Bloom, the biggest mouthpiece there probably was for documentaries, saying Brian Koberger did it all by himself, saying, you know what? I think after looking at the crime scene photos, which, by the way, we're all pieces of shit for asking for the crime scene photos. But now that he's seen the crime scene photos that we weren't allowed to see and we're shamed for asking, now that he's seen it, guess what? Howard Bloom's like, wow. Now that I've seen the crime scene, I don't think that fucking happened with one person. Now you know why we wanted the crime scene photos. Sorry for yelling. I mean, that's why we wanted the crime scene photos.
And we've been saying this for a couple years, you guys. And now because Howard Bloom says it, now it's a big deal. But, you know, it's the same thing we've been saying forever. But now they're going to listen.
Right.
Okay.
It's okay for him, though.
Exactly.
Well, there's going to be a lot of doubling and tripling down on the official narrative now.
Of course.
I I got something for JJ if it's okay with Lee to
Yeah.
ask. It's one of our cases, but I get, we do cover 5 cases. Have you been seeing what's going on with the Charlie Kirk stuff? So apparently and it's funny because JJ always says with a lot of this stuff, a lot of this, especially Charlie Kirk, there's big things at play here with this, and with Idaho, and I think, and it holds true even for Idaho 4, which he has said probably many times on the show. We may never get, more of the full, we're getting closer. We're getting stuff here and there, and we're analyzing things, but probably until we actually get like a whistleblower that comes forward, that can really give some kind of info. So apparently there's a whistleblower that has come forward that worked for TPUSA.
Yeah, I saw that.
Harsh Reality Harsh Reality was covering it too, and it goes along. It's kind of almost like backing to an extent of some stuff that Candace Owens has been claiming. So
does it throw Erica back out there?
Apparently Erica, when she took over, like she put a whole bunch of her own people in, and they're doing all kinds of weird surveillance and like getting rid of people. Like it's like a whole big thing. I was just curious if JJ.
I did, dude. Yeah. I did. I listened. It's funny. I did listen to Harsh's video on that, and I listened to stuff that leaked out.
Right.
Like, how they had like the girl who got fired, and then one of the, there was that, this isn't new, but that whistleblower from Turning Point Turning Point came forward in a video where their voice was altered. And they basically said, what did they say? And what do I always say? They said, people at work, there's a lot of people over there at Turning Point who think they're a bunch of spooks.
Yeah.
Real quick, I don't want to sidetrack us. I want to talk about other cases and why we do what we're doing, because people are quite, I see a lot of people are upset with me. This has been going on since the beginning of my channel. Lee stopped talking about this case. Lee doesn't give a shit about this case. If Lee would actually talk about it, people would care. I'm going to address all that in a minute for you, but I want to say this real quick because this came up as well. Jay Embree's video is back up. So as people said 10 minutes ago, he did a members only video. I don't know what it says because I didn't watch it. I've been here, but now all of a sudden the video that we've been told was taken down. You guys said it was an alt perp video. The video just came back a minute ago, alt perp video. So it looks like what probably happened is he appealed. Somebody got him flagged, and because again, people are going to war with anybody who talks about this case and they don't like what you say. So we're all getting reported and shit for saying that we're saying. So it looks like, without knowing, that Pav probably appealed it and won his appeal, and now the video's back up.
Good for you, Pav. Good for you, brother.
Yep, absolutely. So I don't know how to address the other cases issue, because I get really, really angry and take it personal when people say or accuse me of doing things for clickbaiting. And I think most of our audience don't think that I'm that kind of guy. Most of you know I'm not a clickbaiter. And so when we talk about what kills the channel or doesn't kill the channel, you have to understand it's not a clickbaiting thing. I think the other cases are big. I think Luigi Mangioni's case is huge. I think Mickey Stein's case is a monster. I think Delphi is a monster. I think these cases are extremely important. But for some reason, YouTube's algorithm has got us figured out as an Idaho 4 case.
Yep.
And YouTube also has figured out Idaho 4 is the case everyone's talking about.
Yep.
And so I used to, just like you guys say, devote a day every single day of the week to a different case. And our numbers died immediately every single time we do so. And while that's not a big deal, because I believe in covering the cases because they're important, what I was told was YouTube then finds out and interprets that as people no longer give a shit about your channel. It shows that you've lost people's interest. So every time I talk about a case that kills the channel, it kills the channel. It tells the entire YouTube algorithm people are losing interest in the devil's advocates. And it was only because I put a case out there that wasn't as big. So believe me, my team is constantly trying to figure out how we can get all of you on board with these other cases, because they're monster cases. And I want to talk the shit out of them. I've got lots to say about those cases. But every single time I put a video out those, it kills the channel and it tells YouTube that we're no longer relevant. And so we are working as a team to make that happen in a non-clickbaity way. So
right,
I need your help.
And
I mean, you're all picking on me like I don't give a shit about these cases, or that I'm only doing things for clicks because it's the big thing that drives it. But when YouTube is telling people that we're no longer relevant because when we talk about another case, nobody gives a shit, it hurts the whole channel. And then we don't get to have anybody listening to our other stuff that's important. So yeah, somebody did say we could make a separate channel. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you know how many hours a day I spend on this channel, but I don't have time for another channel and another branding and all that. I'm exhausted running this channel. I really am. I'm exhausted running this channel. But I like it. I love it. I'm not going to stop doing it, but it's exhausting. I work my ass off on this channel.
People don't understand what.
No.
Okay. YouTube. How can I say this to make it understood? They can actually take a channel down if your numbers go below a certain number, okay? Period. I've seen it happen. And if your channel becomes irrelevant, per se, okay, because you're not getting certain amounts of views, your watch time hours go down, your basic views go down, all that stuff goes down. Your channel gets thrown out of a standard algorithm, okay? And then when that happens, you basically don't exist anymore. And then when that happens, the rest of your numbers go down. And I've literally seen other channels just disappear because they don't have enough numbers to keep them relevant to YouTube. So YouTube just boots them. It happens. So that's why numbers are so important to channels, to keep it in that algorithm, to stay out there, to be relevant. So just saying. So,
I mean, the bottom line is, I will say this. We're still dedicated to following the cases. I follow all those cases still. That's why I knew about the latest update and stuff like that, because people that are in my channel are making sure I'm up to date on it. I'm watching the cases. I'm reading new legal documents when they come out. I did a whole big, huge legal breakdown about the whole death penalty fight that the judge is about to rule on. So it's not like I've forgotten about it, you know.
Yeah, it happened to me once before. What YouTube does, you guys, I see you guys asking how, and this, we get blacklisted, okay? Mm-hmm. And when a YouTube channel gets blacklisted, nobody wants, no, they don't, what happens is YouTube stops putting it into the algorithm. Like I'll get like messages from YouTube that says, great job today. Because you published so many videos, so on and so forth. Your videos have been seen because of YouTube recommendations. YouTube recommends for some of you guys to watch our stuff. When you become blacklisted, they don't do that anymore. You're just sitting in the back with the rest of the smaller stuff, I guess you call it, and they won't put you out into the algorithm to have people watch your stuff. So it's kind of a rock and a hard place for us, because we want to talk about these other cases because we're very interested in them. I know I am. I know Lee is. We've talked about it. But when they're not putting it out there, there's people that have said that I don't get notifications anymore because we're going live, but you guys don't know we're live because they're not telling you we're live. You know what I mean? So
yeah. And by the way, for anyone who's thinking I don't care about these cases, do not forget, I went to New York and walked outside the Hilton where Brian Thompson was shot, stole an e-bike and rode it down the middle of streets in New York City. The stolen part was kind of an inside joke, but really, I actually kind of accidentally stole a bike. But the point being is that I literally went there. I went to the hostel Luigi Mangione allegedly stayed at. I went to the place Brian Thompson was shot and killed. I stood on those places. I walked through Central Park looking for areas that were related to the crime. For people who don't think I give a fuck about that case, what was I doing in New York on that boots on the ground? I was there for the List case. Mm-hmm. I'm going to Delphi. I'm going to Letcher County. I'm going to put boots on the grounds in these other cases. So it's not just this case, the Idaho 4. I'm doing a lot of stuff to try to get that. Right. I need you guys to help us get that stuff. Teach YouTube we're relevant when we talk about anything other than Idaho 4. Yep,
that's what the biggest thing is right there, is because this is the bigger one. They think that's all we do, and it's not true, because I cover Letcher County. I cover Charlie Kirk. I covered the Tepper case and many other cases, you guys. It's just nobody wants to, they don't put it out there to anybody unless it has this title on it, which is really sad. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It is sad.
And I don't mind taking the occasional hit to talk about the cases.
No.
It's just that so here's the thing. I mean, we're boring the crap out of everybody. We need to move on, but I'll try to be brief. If I did a case every day of the week, Monday, Idaho, Tuesday, Lisk, Wednesday, Delphi, whatever. If I did that, I'll guarantee you 3 days out of the week, my channel dies. And it teaches YouTube most of the time, my channel, nobody gives a shit about the channel. And so that's what they see. What they see is 3 out of 5 times this guy fails to draw people's attention. That's what they see. So it's hard to do that on a dedicated schedule.
I know all of us have been like going bananas with the Idaho 4 case because it's so fucking crazy.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like, so I think like we're on here talking about it because it's legitimate. Like we're passionate about it because it's such a crazy case.
Right.
Yeah. So we'll continue. We will continue to work on it. Believe me, all of us are talking about it. Dago, by the way, is the same as me. He has every desire to talk about multiple cases. We're both all in on several of the same exact cases. We're all in on those cases. So we will continue to cover those things. And again, tomorrow, let me say this as a teaser. Let me say this. Tomorrow's drop on YouTube, I've already recorded it. I stayed up late last night. I recorded my video for tomorrow. It's on Delphi. And yes, it has similarities to Idaho 4, so we talk about that as well. But it's like 90% Delphi. That's dropping tomorrow. So on tomorrow's live, if we get all the panel together for tomorrow, my intention is to try to spend some time talking about that drop that came out. So I know I don't want to force my panel to have to go watch all my videos. But the point being is that it's going to be, a lot of Delphi tomorrow. And yes, it'll bridge into Idaho 4 because it's all about the Franks hearing, and the Franks hearing is something that happened in both those cases. But so anyways, we'll keep trying to push the conversation into other areas and hope that you guys stay interested, because right now it seems like people are only interested in one case. Maybe they're not resonating with us as a channel.
You got to remember
with
too,
a case, but
to add to that, Lee, even with the other cases that we do cover, like Letcher County, for instance, okay, there's not a lot that's happened with that. I've been waiting and waiting and waiting to get more info to put out with that one. Same with Delphi. Whenever the Delphi appeal thing popped, we went right to it. We started covering it again, so on and so forth. But you can only take that so far, and then there's nothing left to talk about for a while. So,
yeah,
that's one of the biggest deals with it too. Is we can look for things to talk about with it and dig into things, and it only goes so far. So,
right. You guys gotta remember 2,700 crime scene photos just dropped.
Yeah, and that's
and then 155 page autopsy report, which we're still not going through. It takes time to like really go through some of this stuff. So.
Definitely.
Yeah. So and in fact, by the way, just to let you know, after this show is over, my panel is working on another case. After this show is over, I'm going to invite my panelists, those who can stay up late because it's late for the East Coasters with that, to join me backstage for a little bit of a special treat backstage after we get done here because we're working on other cases. So we are working on other cases as well. So
we get overtime tonight, guys.
You get overtime pay if you guys stay. You get some overtime on the after dark after show after dark.
I think when those trials start popping, man, it's because then you get the people who maybe haven't watched you for Idaho 4.
Yeah,
and then they're like, "Oh, Luigi, Luigi trial."
I can't wait till Letcher County till that thing gets rolling hardcore because I'm really obsessed with that one. I truly am.
The Letcher County case is a monster as well. For different all of the cases are monsters for different reasons.
Different reasons.
The Long Island serial killer I'm super interested in that. I mean, I grew up 10 minutes from Rex.
Right.
Yeah.
From that house. So it's like right in my backyard.
Absolutely.
All right. So I've talked a lot. I've defended myself, which it's kind of funny because people used to tell me, quit defending yourself all the time. And I spent a lot of time defending myself tonight, which I probably shouldn't do, but I did it anyways. So what do you guys want to talk about for the last 20 minutes or so? I don't want to go too long again, because I do have something waiting for us after the show that is important. So I don't want to go past the 2-hour mark for sure. So we got 25 minutes, whatever left. Do you guys have any food for thoughts on anything in particular? Crickets.
I can just tell you one last little thing about the Idaho case.
Yeah.
Because in the autopsy, you know how it said, like in the report, how it said like Kaylee was laying on Maddie kind of partially, or right on her side.
Yeah.
Over her arm or something. Yeah.
I've scoured, dude. Don't get an OCD person trying to find something in a little round ball image.
Right.
Yeah. I spent hours looking at those light bulb photos again since last time we talked.
Right.
And so I'm trying to say, can you guys help me with this? In that image on the light bulb, right? For anybody who saw it, you know what I'm talking about. If you look at it, Kaylee's in the top right, what we think is Kaylee. In the top
not
right
all of
portion.
us, not all of us. I have to, you bring up an important point, because I had somebody tell me, you guys keep saying it's Kaylee. And I said, no, we do not. I have panelists who insist it's Kaylee. I have never said it's Kaylee. So this is a good moment just to digress. Our panelists are not brain dead people who all follow each other's lead and say the same thing as we do. I have panelists who think that's Kaylee. I don't think it's Kaylee. But so just, I want to be clear, Joe, when you say this, not all of us feel that's Kaylee. So but continue on, because I did get somebody say, you need to clarify, DA.
Yeah. I'm not sure of anything with this fucking case. Okay. So, but right. I'll tell you, and I think Dago echoed this exact same sentiment. The reason why I think that top right portion of that image is Kaylee is because Kaylee had a different, if the side of her face, her ear, and the way her hair went over, it's like you look at pictures of Kaylee and it's like, that's the side of her face. Now, that's just how I saw it. It could be Maddie in that portion, but I can't figure out, looking at that image, what side, when you're looking at the image, is Maddie supposedly on next to Kaylee? Were they shoulder to shoulder?
Yeah, I don't know.
That's what we didn't know, unfortunately. That's a good question, Joe. And like I said, to be honest, it's weird because Kaylee was on the inside by the wall, from our understanding, what they told us, and Maddie was on the outside, okay? If they were side by side.
Yes.
What we don't know is the true situation, because we were told by the Gonzalez family that she was sitting up in the corner, okay? Right. So if that's true, and that image that we're seeing is her, that would explain why we see her sitting the way we believe we see her sitting, okay? And why we can't see Maddie, in my opinion, I'll just say. Because Maddie was laying flat, Kaylee was sitting in that corner, if it's true, at that point that the photograph was taken, I'm saying. I'm not saying she stayed that way, but that would make sense to me, Joe. Right. That's what I was trying to figure out, because I've had people in my community that say, that's not her, Dago. Okay, I respect that. My problem is I've scanned through, just like you probably have, because I'm OCD too, and I have stared at that photograph multiple times, multiple ways. I've looked at other photographs of Kaylee, like side versions of her, and I've looked through it again. That's all I see, Joe, is Kaylee's face when I look at this. I don't see anything else. And I can't say that it makes me think of anything else. Other people are saying that's a forensics person in a tie-back suit. That's what the white is, so on and so forth. To me, it looks like a sheet. So, I don't even know. I don't even know what to think of this. I see what I see, and I can't unsee it. So
it's definitely it doesn't look like a tie-back suit.
No. So let me clarify something, because some people are asking, can we show the picture on the screen? And I want to address this. There's a reason why we haven't shown the picture on. It's not really graphic. It's not. There's lots of graphic pictures in the document dump that Idaho put out. Right. They retracted that video dump, so they themselves don't want it out there. But The bodies part was definitely something, in my opinion, they didn't want to show. They were actually ordered by the judge not to show any bodies. The fact that they accidentally got reflected bodies in some images or forgot to crop it just right and you see a body in an image, I think was a big oh shit on their part, and they immediately retracted it. So at this time, for several reasons, one, because there's a judge's order not to show the bodies, and they did by accident. Yes, we did show it to people because it's important and it's out there, but we didn't show it on the public stream because we don't think it's appropriate for people to be flipping through YouTube and see bodies, especially when the judges ruled that we're not supposed to see them. So that's one of the reasons why. And I realize some of you are really pissed off at me because you're like, well, then why fucking talk about it? If you're going to talk about it, don't show it, or show it then. But talking about it is okay. We can talk about what's there, in my opinion. If you want to see the videos, we have made them available on a Discord channel in a special group, a special channel that you have to request access to because it contains quote unquote graphic images. And they're not horrible. They're not super horrible, but it is shocking to some people. So we have it locked down, but you have to ask permission. But we're not going to do it on the live stream. That's the choice we made. I hope you can respect it. Some people do really respect that we're not showing the bodies on the screen for clickbaiting shit. And it wouldn't be for clickbaiting anyways. We would do it because we're trying to get to the answer. Like, is that the victims that they said were there? Is it the position they said? That's why we're doing it. It's for scientific endeavors to try to understand whether we were told the truth. Even so, we're not going to show the bodies on the that's just the decision we made. We're not going to show it on the public live. So,
it's crazy how people, like, I see comments.
Yeah,
it's the person taking a picture. We all,
I know,
it's wild how you all see different things,
right?
And I've looked at that thing so many ways, and I can't see in that top right image two people. I cannot see two people.
Same thing. I only see one person too.
And I will agree with you as well. I don't see two people as well. I'll agree with you with that. I agree with that as well. I want to tell you one more thing. Like, somebody made this analogy for talking discussion. Let's just see how you guys feel about it. Someone made the analogy, and I don't know if you guys think it relates or not. In 2015, I think it was, an image broke the internet, as this person said, and I think they were right. It was an image of a dress that was supposed to be white with gold buttons, or it was blue with black buttons. And literally, people fought fucking like cats and dogs at the same image, saying, well, that's a blue dress with black buttons. No, it isn't. Clearly, it's white with gold buttons. And it broke the internet because nobody altered the photo. I remember the same photo and see a white dress or a blue dress, and your mind would pick one, and that was just it. You couldn't get out of it. Once your mind picked which one it was, you couldn't get out of it. And it was a huge thing. And so I don't know if it's like this, but just like with audio, once you've been told what you're going to hear, it's hard to unhear it. Once you've been told what you're going to see, it's hard to unsee it. I don't know if it relates or not, but our mind does that to us. So that's part of the problem. Like, have we become tricked into what we think we see, and that's just all we see now?
Well, I'll give you an example. I probably mentioned this on the Discord channel. On the bottom part of that same photo, the bottom left, if you look at the picture one way, it looks like the exact reflection of the top right one, just inverted.
Yes.
Right. But if you stare at it long enough, you'll see that same image on the bottom left side. That at first I saw somebody looking straight up with their head leaned back.
Yeah.
Right. And I thought, all right, that could just be a slightly different angle on the top right image. So it looks slightly different. But then I would stare at it until your mind shifts, because that's what happens, by the way. There's a perceptual trick to get your mind to shift.
Yeah.
And then I saw a picture of somebody laying on their side more, and it did not look anything like the top right picture.
Yeah.
So to nerd out for a second, you have parts of your brain, they're called hypercolumns, and each one is for every single angle of 360 degrees that your brain could possibly perceive. And what happens is, certain angles, if you stare at that angle long enough, it tires out that section of your cerebral cortex.
Yep.
And then it shifts, and then you see that's when that shift in focus happens. That's why it takes a little time, because what happens is it tires out that part of the cerebral cortex, and then it shifts, and then you see another picture within a picture, so to speak.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean,
Very good point.
there's a lot of thoughts. And like I said, I just want to say I don't, you guys know, I'm not saying you guys are wrong because neither one of us take that tactic. You're wrong. I'm right. That's not what we're saying.
Right.
I have believed that my gut tells me that wasn't Kaylee. You guys said it was, and I'm okay with us agreeing to disagree. In fact, I think it's great that we disagree because then people in the chat, and then we had a third person come in and say it's neither one. It's a photographer at the crime scene that took a picture and they're snapped it. So the fact that we can all talk about this is the important part at the end of the day. So I'm glad that we get to have a respectful panel that can do just like that we can all say, hey, that's not what I see, but nobody gets it personal. I don't think nobody's bent out of shape.
That's how everybody should be able to handle it, Lee. I agree with you.
Right.
If we all agreed on every single solitary thing, how boring is that, you guys? I mean, there's nothing to talk about then. Yep, I see it. Yep. Okay, move on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's nothing to talk about at that point. It doesn't make it's an echo chamber, And that's the thing is we need to be able to analyze things in different ways and talk about things in different ways. And that's what's fascinating about things like this, in my opinion. So,
by the way, to go back briefly to Luigi Mangione, there are people who say, we know Luigi Mangione did it because we saw him shoot Brian Thompson.
Right.
And I always say, no, you fucking didn't. You saw a guy in a mask. You don't know who you saw. You saw somebody shoot Brian Thompson. And there's even people who will say, I'm not even sure he shot Brian Thompson because there's no blood and it looks like he faked it. And maybe you can look at that. So you can't say what you saw. All you can do is tell people what you think you saw. I think I saw this. You think you saw that. We're all going to discuss whether or not we're right, but we don't know because we all saw something, but we don't know what we saw.
Bingo. Yeah. That's 100% fact.
Yeah, and every case, right? Every case, if you look at documents like images or videos from any of these cases, stuff that comes out, you'll see a shit ton of different interpretations of it. Like I'm going to go back to those pictures because I have not seen it as a person taking a picture, but it could be.
Right. And then depending what angle you look at it, because there's a few different pictures, like photos of that thing. Depending on how you look at it, you see different things.
Yeah.
One of the bulbs I saw one thing. That's absolutely right. I'm glad you said that one because I had a picture of it sent back to me that was kind of cleaned up a little bit more. And there's like 3 bulbs, and one bulb, each bulb I see something different. You know what I mean? One bulb, it looks like I see what I see is her. And then on the other side of the little bulb in the middle, it looks like I see what I think would be the person taking the picture. And it's weird because I don't know 100% if that's right or wrong. So
also keep in mind, and I don't think keep this in mind. This happened in Idaho 4 in the early stages where people took audios and they manipulated the audio to get shock value. And they want to see, here you see, you hear this being said. And it was manipulated audio because YouTubers or whatever wanted some shock value. And that same thing is going to happen with this crime scene photos, I guarantee you. People are going to start manipulating those crime scene photos, putting some shocking thing in there and go, did you see this? I cleaned up the picture and now you can clearly see Brian Koberger standing in the closet. Like, you're literally going to have that happen, I guarantee you. So be careful.
Of course. And that's like I said, I didn't see what I said when I said I feel very comfortable in believing that what I see was Kaylee until I went to the original photograph. And then I actually blew it up on my screen as big as I could get it. It did blur it out, but it still shows me what I believe to be what I see. So
yeah.
And I'm going to ask you guys something. This is kind of a little throwback here. Remember the picture supposedly Brent Kopaka's eye?
Yes. Oh my God.
Yes.
Yeah. Do you guys think that was manipulated?
Absolutely, I do.
It did feel manipulated. It did. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because that's the same kind of thing. The round eyeball gives and there's faint images in the background.
Yeah.
And I could never make out half the shit people were saying they saw online.
No.
I've heard that's a reflection of the grub truck. I've heard it's a reflection of 1122. I've heard it's a reflection of the Koberger's house in Pennsylvania. I've heard every single thing about what you're seeing in the eyeball. And all I can conclude is nobody can fucking tell you what is reflected.
100%. Yes,
They're just going to argue about it all day long.
No, because this has been proven countless times in research. People fill in the gaps with their the brain fills in the gaps.
Yeah.
And it's so your biases will, and people are like, no way, my brain wouldn't do that. Everybody's brain does it.
Yeah,
The brain
it's
will
funny
fill
that
in the
right.
gaps.
It's funny that you mentioned that because we actually have to take a training course on that about bias and about like when we first go on seeing you, it's like your brain is trained to a certain thing because we're supposed to be subjective, and it's like you can't you don't want to be. It's like you're gonna act a certain way or assume a certain thing because you see four Hispanic males on the corner or it. And the point of the training thing is that they go through, as much as you say that, even people here, even if they want to admit it or not, we all have our own internal bias, whether you want to admit it or not, because we all have life. That's the point. It's like,
right.
You don't even realize.
You were saying that you want to be objective, though, right? That's what they're trying to tell you.
Yeah, that's what
Don't be subjective.
That's what I meant. Yeah.
I mean,
that, like, go ahead,
Dangle. Sorry.
All I was gonna say was that that thing Lee brought up a while back about the thing that broke the internet, that whole dress where it's two different colors. Part of that is, and my wife, I got this from her and her psychology background. Okay. That when different people's minds visualize things in different ways, automatically, there's things that we could all look at the same picture, but the way our mind works is how we view it. And if you have a certain type of mind, you're going to see one thing. One will look at it because his mind works different than mine, and he'll see something completely different. Leo look at it because his mind is a different thing, and he'll see something different. That's what it's all about in some aspects. And people will fight to the death and swear up and down, you're wrong, you're crazy, I'm gonna run you over, blah 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 blah, because I see this, you're wrong. But
I'm looking right at it. You can't tell me what I see.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And there's people that will believe that only because that's what their mind tells them they're seeing. And I agree with you. You do see that. 100% you see that. And I don't see it because I have a different mind sense than you do, for lack of better terms. That's why I see what I see, because I feel the same intensity about what I see as you do. And it's all about what's in here.
It's a Rorschach test.
Yes.
I mean, it's a
test.
Rorschach
You
test.
got to remember that when you're flipping out on somebody, I'm not saying anybody in here did it, but when you're flipping out on somebody and you're cussing them out because you believe in what you see, they believe in what they see. It's just facts. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's all a mental.
Except for the fog lights, the clip on.
Oh yeah.
No,
they're clip-on fog lights. Come on.
No.
Clip on.
I'll jump out the window right now. No.
I mean, it's pretty wild, man, when you think about it, because this is the old famous discussion about eyewitness testimony. 1-1.
Yeah.
I'm sure you've heard a lot about this.
Oh yes.
Everybody has who follows true crime. It's eyewitness testimony is highly undependable.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been proven countless times. In fact, I'm reading the 4th chapter of Framed right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm at the, I maybe 10 pages in, and it's all about that. It's eyewitness testimony.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Yeah. And I can tell you for a fact, I've reported crimes or things that I thought were crimes to the police, and was embarrassed to find out I was completely wrong with what I saw. And when they said, well, actually, like I saw an accident that I said I saw in my rear view mirror and the car was going a certain direction. And when I gave my statement, they said, well, that doesn't conflict with that doesn't jive with what the guy actually did. Because what he did was he came from this direction and this is what happened. And I'm like, well, shit, like, how am I going to argue? Like they actually had it right and I had it wrong. And they kind of looked at me like, I think you're an idiot because you saw it wrong. And I'm like, I'm not an idiot. I just my brain created a different story out of what I saw.
And that's why with all these cases, people are so passionate that we're crazy or we think they're crazy because they're not looking at inconsistencies in any of these cases. Like people get once you have an idea in your head about something, like Delphi, perfect example, the bridge guy, right?
Yeah.
You look at that. I have looked at that part of the documentary so many times, and 1 minute I'm like, man, that could be Richard Allen. And then I'm like, Well, no, when he lifts his head a little bit, it's definitely not him.
Right.
But then I look at it from another angle. I'm like, man, I
Well,
don't know, that
maybe.
could be him.
Yeah.
It may be him. So it's all, and can you imagine if all of us went through all that? We would all, our initial, at each angle, our initial opinion would be different, or likely would be different.
Right. And see, that's a good
Right.
point, though. That's one of the big things. And because, like, for me, when I looked at the bridge guy video, and there's people that look at this different ways because of different things. When I looked at that, I took into account statistical facts that were told to me. Richard Allen's 5'4". Well, the guy that's on the bridge is definitely taller than 5'4". Then I go look into that to figure out how tall the guy on the bridge is, what they figured out with that. And he's between 5'10" and 6 foot. So automatically, that's not the bridge guy to me. And then the walk, and then this, and then that. And then we look at other things and it says, well, that reminds me of something else. And then it takes you back because of who the person is to the bridge guy again. So there's different little facts that make you look at things differently than other things as well. So it's a whole crazy ass thing. You know what I mean?
I gotta admit, I'm going to be honest. When I was watching that video before we talked about it, so when I had said, oh shit, guys, I got to catch up. I got to, watch those documentaries. When I saw that bridge guy video, and then I watched some of the interviews with Richard Allen, my mind started
Putting the two
playing
together
tricks on me.
Sure.
Because I'm like, well, shit, maybe maybe
yeah, I can see it. Yeah, I can see it. Yeah.
But then as I watched more stuff with the interrogation, I went further, and I'm like, these guys are fucking railroading this guy.
Yes.
And then when I went and looked back at the bridge guy video is when I started going, no, I don't think that's him.
You see it different. Yeah.
So my belief from the interrogation transferred over to how I viewed the bridge guy video.
They did.
So,
yeah, they did. Anonymous. They did release the full video finally.
Yeah. So I want to wrap up, and I want to make, I don't like begging people for views and all that shit. I really don't. But tonight it came up on the stream. DA, why don't you cover other cases? Why do you always talk about Idaho 4? The biggest favor I can ask all of you is if you're a believer in this channel and you like the way we break down cases, please watch tomorrow's video and watch it all the way through. YouTube pays attention to when you quit watching the video. If you quit after 2 minutes because it's not Idaho 4, they're going to be like, nobody gives a shit about DA unless he's talking about Idaho 4. If you want me to cover other cases, help us teach YouTube we're not a one-trick pony. That's what we need you to do. So if you're a believer in the channel, please hang in there for the thing and let YouTube know that you're interested in the cases that we cover and not just one case.
You're interested in the channel, not just the case. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Or how about you're interested in the panel, not just the case? But, yeah, whatever the case may be.
There you go.
We did get a lot of puns here. Okay, look, we need to wrap up. I want to tell my panelists, I believe I have been given permission to bring any of you on with a special private chat in StreamYard afterwards in the Letcher County case. So it's a special kind of special stuff that we're going to get in the Letcher County case. And so I believe that I was told that you're all invited. But what I'm going to do is when we shut down the stream, I'm going to go over there and meet with them first and confirm that that's what they told me. And then I'll start sending the links out to you guys if you guys are interested in joining. In the meantime, I told them that we'd wrap up in about 3 minutes. So let's try to do some quick outros here. Dago, you want to say some closing thoughts for you and your people for the night?
Again, yes. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Thank you all to these amazing moderators. Every one of you guys are amazing. We wouldn't be here without you, as always. And thank you again to the community. Again, we wouldn't exist without you guys. You guys, every one of you, whatever channel you tuned into tonight, it doesn't matter to me. We're all the same family now. As far as I'm concerned, I appreciate every single one of you guys 100%. And like Lee was saying, if you guys support our channels and support us, then understand and please support everything we cover, guys. That's all we're asking, truly. And we want you there. Whatever we're talking about, throw us out there some ideas too. If that's what you want to see, tell us about it. That's 100% how I've always said it. So I'm down for that as well, guys. But either way,
Yeah.
I love to every one of you guys, and again, everybody on panel, my extended family here. I love you guys as well so very much. I appreciate each and every one of you guys, and I can't wait till we get together again.
Thank you so much. And yeah, our hope, in an egotistical way of saying it, is that you don't resonate with the case, you resonate with us, with our channel and what we stand for. So that's what we got to teach YouTube, is that you resonate with us and what we stand for, not just a case. Teach them that it's not anybody who talks about this case you're interested in, and you don't give a shit unless we're talking about that case. That's what that's your mission. Teach them that we're not a one-trick pony, if you really believe in that. JJ, what's your closing thought for the night?
Yeah, of course. Thanks to everybody. Thank you to the Den and the meatballs and the mods. Yeah, just keep in mind, our own biases affect our ability to critically think. And that's one of the big things I think that's important when talking about true crime cases. You have to be able to put aside your biases and not be afraid to see things in another way. And if you allow yourself and your mind to do that, then you can start opening up to seeing all the information and not blocking some of it out because it doesn't adhere to your belief, your preconceived idea. So just something to keep in mind.
Yeah, thank you so much. And yeah, I think you guys may have seen, I wasn't even going to say who we were meeting with, but the person's been vocal in here. Somebody asked, hey, were we all invited to that special meeting? Unfortunately, no. Unfortunately, that discussion is going to have some potentially confidential information being discussed. So it's not meant for the public. It's meant for people to have very, very limited knowledge. And I don't mean to be arrogant about it. It's just, it's very confidential kind of stuff. Unfortunately, not ready for public dissemination. So unfortunately, you're not all invited. I'm sorry. All right. Robin, what do you got on the way out?
Well, the mission of the channel is to hold the powers that be accountable, to seek the truth, and to have the best interests of the public at large. And so all of these cases have the potential to do that, to bring to light the inconsistencies in these cases, what law enforcement has and hasn't done, what mainstream media says versus what's actually true. So if you believe that we, the people, have the right to demand the truth, then follow us, because that's what we here on this channel and many other creators are doing. So please come along with us. We don't ask you to spend money. Like the video, share the video, invite people that are invested in a certain case, whether it's Luigi or Idaho 4 or Delphi, whatever it is. Invite them, say, look, you need to watch this, because they're going to tell you the truth about what's going on with documents and other facts. So we want you all along on this journey. It's too important. So please just we appreciate your support, each and every one of you. I hope you know how much you mean to us, how much we love you. And please stay warm out there, guys, because it's cold.
I know. Yeah. Thank you so much for the, we all believe to some extent in the mission that we're doing. I mean, I want to say we all believe in the same exact mission. We're very similar. Everybody here is pretty much here for very similar reasons. Maybe we have slight different things that we focus on, or we would like to, there's a mission here. We want to really get to truth and transparency and all those good things. Yeah. One, you got any parting thoughts?
Yeah. So thanks everyone. Meatballs, Denizens, JJ, Dago, Robin, Boss Lee, everyone in the chat. Make sure you hit subscribe. Great discussion as always. To piggyback off of JJ talking about the biases and whatnot, another important thing, make sure that you try to develop your listening skills. So this kind of goes along a bit with some of what he's talking about too. A lot of times people are and I get it. I understand, especially like Idaho 4, 3 years into this case, and all these some of these other cases, people get so passionate, but. And you may be right about a certain picture or evidence or whatever it is that you're looking at. But sometimes you gotta, and it's difficult sometimes because you get so passionate and you're like, oh no, this is what it is. I'm so sure. Sometimes you got to take a step back and you got to be willing to listen. And that's my key takeaway for tonight. And that, I would say that's maybe one of Lee's favorite words. Listen.
Listen.
All your listening skills, all right? Thanks, everyone.
All right. Thank you all as well for coming to another episode. And I am, like I said, I am committed to these other cases. I'm sorry that I'm letting some people down on some of the I know there's a lot of people who are disappointed that I'm not covering their favorite case as heavily. I'm doing the best I can. I'm trying to get us there. I'm trying to bridge the audiences to get into the other cases because they're huge and they're important, not because I'm a clickbaiter. So I don't want to do it in a clickbaity, icky way, but I need help getting there. So those cases are on our radar. We're going to continue to watch them. We got a website, devilsadvocates.info. We got timelines up there. We're going to post documents up there. We got an active Discord channel. Dago's got the same kind of shit going on his side, a whole active Discord channel and community. He covers multiple cases. So support our mission, if you will. And we'll see you again tomorrow night, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, Crimes After Dark. Thanks, everybody. Have a good night.
Have a great night.
Good night.